Good YouTube, it's your boy KB with Just Do Boxing, back with another video. Before I get into the video, I want to say if this is your first time on the channel, don't forget to do your boy a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, share these videos, man. It really does help the channel grow. I truly appreciate it, man. So let's get into it, man. Got a potential fight. It's not etched in stone. Potential fight, man. Y'all know what I do over here. I like to focus on the fights, man. Not so much the gossip, but the fights. And even though this ain't etched in stone, it's being talked about for potentially April. You know, a fight between King Ryan Garcia and Tevin Farmer. You know, Tevin Farmer 35-1. 6 KOs, 5'6", 67-inch reach, 31 years old. He fighting out of Philly. Slick southpaw. Last time we seen him in the ring was January 30th, 2020, where he lost a unanimous decision to then 30-1 Jojo Diaz in a fight where Farmer was just outboxed, for the majority of the fight. He was definitely competitive, but he was outboxed. He just didn't look like himself. He had a flat performance, if you ask me. And, he lost his IBF super featherweight title as well. Jojo, I think Jojo did a good job at, walking Farmer down, getting in his chest, walking him down. He did some real good work to the body. I think that helped keep, Farmer a little stationary. And it was interesting and, a little weird because I think Farmer, made it easier for Jojo to a certain extent because he chose at times to stay in the pocket longer than he should have, essentially being a stationary target for Jojo. And, Jojo was constantly letting his hands go and picking them off, shots to the body, hard hooks. I think he buzzed Farmer a little bit around the 9th round. Even though Farmer was definitely competitive and he showed some flashes of what he's able to do defensively, but he just didn't look like himself. He was too stationary. He didn't use his legs as much as he usually do to get himself out of trouble. And he kind of limited himself in what he could do. I just didn't understand that. Maybe it just wasn't his night, or maybe, styles. Maybe Jojo just had the right style for him, but it was definitely a good fight. I noticed Farmer told his corner he hurt his hand after the first round, so maybe that, hindered his performance. And Jojo, on the other hand, he had a terrible cut over his left eye due to an unintentional headbutt. That was a nasty cut, but he just, he stayed consistent and fought harder. He had a big nasty gash over his eyebrow, and, he continued to fight hard. And like I said, with Farmer sitting in the pocket too long, Diaz was able to take advantage by going to his body and countering him. He was winning the exchanges, surprisingly, and at times he was just flat out outworking Tevin Farmer, and that surprised me because, as you know, Farmer is like a slick boxer with a pretty decent to high work rate. You know what I'm saying? But in this fight, he just was outworked, out hustled. I think Jojo's pressure and him staying in Farmer's chest caused a lot of problems for Farmer. And, Jojo never slowed down. He walked him down and, he got the job done. Unanimous decision. The right man won. It wasn't the worst loss for Farmer, but he just didn't look good. Ain't like he got knocked out or dropped or beat down, but he just got outboxed and outpointed and out hustled. Jojo just looked hungrier in that fight. And it looked like something, I don't know what it was, something must have been bothering Tevin Farmer. That was Farmer's first loss in almost 8 years. So I think Jojo was better prepared. He just fought harder, and I think a fight between Farmer and Garcia should be a good fight with Farmer. He'll be coming off about a 2-year layoff. And Ryan, I think, he on his way to being over a year out of the ring as well. As we know, King Ryan Garcia, 21-0, 18 knockouts, 5'10" with a 70-inch reach, 23 years old, orthodox, fighting out of Cali. He was last in the ring January 2nd, 2021, where he got a 7th round TKO over Luke Campbell with a left hook to the body after getting dropped in the 2nd round himself with a hook from Campbell. It was a good test, good fight for Garcia. Show some grit and some heart, getting up off the canvas and finishing the fight strong. If you coming off of over a year layoff, but like I said, he showed heart and grit getting up off the deck. He responded well to adversity. He got the job done. Not only did he get the job done, he got a good stoppage with a well-placed hook, left hook to Campbell's liver, and he was unable to recover from. And Campbell was on record recently saying that was the hardest he ever been hit, and he wanted to get up, but he just couldn't. So that's a testament to Garcia, having some pretty decent, pretty good, solid power, should I say. I think his power is legit and his speed as well. It was a good little test for him. But recently, we know Ryan Garcia was supposed to fight Tank. He went on Mike Tyson's podcast, calling out Tank Davis. As we know, that fight never happened because Ryan was reporting that he had a fight with Pacquiao lined up, and that turned out to be rumors and lies. Then you turn around, Ryan was supposed to face Javier Fortuna. Then he said he had anxiety issues. Okay, fair play. So that fight never happened. And he was supposed to face Jojo Diaz, and he said he had a hand injury, so that fight never took place. More recently, he's on social media going back and forth with Isaac Cruz on social media, and we all know how that played out. That fight never took place. So that's 5 fights that didn't happen, with the one common denominator being Ryan Garcia. So I think at this point in his career, it's time for him to put up or shut up. He's been recently on social media saying how he don't need to be worried about making money off social media, because if he take care of his business in the ring, the money's going to come. He's 100% right. But I think that's the part of his problem, is how he also said, he makes enough money so he's not desperate for fights. And I think in ways that's hindering his greatness. I think the fact that he's not hungry and that he's not, he just doesn't seem to have that drive. I think he's too comfortable, and you don't want him to be desperate for fights, but I think him being financially comfortable, I just don't know what he's in box. Is he striving to be great, or do he just, want to be popular? Right now it seems like he just wants to be popular. And recently he's on social media saying how, the fans don't give him his credit and things like that as an amateur or as a pro. But he has to understand, when you attaching your names to these other big name fighters and you're not fighting any of them, or quality opponents, and then you falling out and not fighting any of them, people are going to get tired of y'all not giving me my credit story. Like, people give credit where it's due. One thing I'm going to do over here in this channel, I'm going to always give credit where it's due. That's why this channel is called Just Do Boxing. So if Ryan could get off social media and get in the ring and show people what he got and prove to the people that he's truly in boxing to be great, I think a lot of the criticism will fall by the wayside, but I think until then, he's going to continue to be criticized because he's not getting in the ring. In a fight with him and Tevin Farmer, both guys coming off a layoff, reasonable, long layoff, should I say, and Farmer coming off a loss, Ryan Garcia coming off an injury and being tested in his last fight. Maybe it'd be a good style matchup. Farmer's a slick boxer. He's not known for power. You know what I mean? So Ryan coming off his hand injury, maybe that's the perfect fight for him. Because recently his team stated that Isaac Cruz would be too tough of a fight because he has a hard head, and that wouldn't be a good fight for Ryan, being that he just came coming off a hand injury. So, with this fight being reported, Ryan Garcia versus Tevin Farmer, possibly for April, I think this is a good fight for the fans. I think this is a good step in the right direction for Ryan Garcia. I think Tevin Farmer is a respectable, quality opponent. I don't think he's a walk in the park, and I know a lot of people put too much stock in him not being a big puncher, but you have to remember, man, if Tevin Farmer comes in there as he's been in recent fights, and he can give Ryan Garcia hell defensively, he could be a slippery guy and a tough guy to hit, but at the same time, Ryan does have some pretty decent timing, and he has some great speed with some legit power. So, like I said, I think that boxer puncher versus slick southpaw would be a great test for Ryan Garcia. And with Tevin Farmer being a southpaw as well as a elusive fighter, I think it'd be a good test. Some might not agree, but I think it's just what Ryan Garcia needs. If he's truly coming off a hand injury, he definitely needs to test himself. There's no sense in him, fighting any fighters that's not of quality. So I just want to see him in the ring and off social media. You know what I'm saying? And I think he'll get the respect that or the credit that he's looking for, as long as he, fighting quality fighters. And, you beat Tevin Farmer, it ain't the biggest name, but I think people will respect it. Like I said, up until Jojo Diaz lost for Farmer, it's been almost 8 years since he lost. So gotta respect that. His record is a little deceiving with those 5 losses, with most of those coming very early in his career. So, like I said, I think Ryan Garcia versus Tevin Farmer is a great matchup, man. Hopefully we get this fight for April like it's being reported, and we'll see where Ryan's at. I think it's a perfect fight to see where he's at right now in terms of progress and maturity, to see how much he's learned, So that's my thoughts on this potential fight, man. Y'all get in that comment section, like, comment, definitely subscribe, share the videos. It go a long way, helps the channel grow. Y'all appreciate it. Y'all get in that comment section, because I do respond to comments, man. Y'all let me know if I gave King Ryan Garcia and Tevin Farmer their just due, because that's what I like to do over here, Just Do Boxing. To the next one, I'm out. Peace.